Thanks for coming over to this Amodeus. Today's Dungeon Under Champion video is about snake ladies in general and Zhaoxue in particular. Now, I strongly recommended not 6-starring snake ladies after patch 4.1. A lot of the feedback I got after that video was that they just needed to be built differently. Specifically on attack, crit damage attack with about 70% accuracy or so. So I took this under advisement, went back to the building one, and I finally finished testing, right? So I took my snake lady, since she's about the most average of all the snake ladies. I think the light one was a good one to choose. And I fully skilled her up, 6-starred her, and put her in Precise Adept and began testing her out. So first off, immediately unimpressed with her performance, especially with as much effort as we put into getting that accuracy up and how much damage her OGD actually ended up doing. So the gear requirements to do everything were just too high. There were way better units that could use that gear more effectively, like Wrona, Amodeus, Ella, the Mall. I mean, there's just, it goes on and on and on, right? So a really great set of Precise Adept is really valuable, and it's just not well used on the light snake lady, I thought. So snake ladies in general, I was like, not feeling it. However, I'd already 6-starred her and skilled her up, so I didn't want to throw her out. So I thought there might be hope in straight DPS snake lady. So I took off her Adept Precise and I focused on full damage with Mortal Keen, just completely disregarding accuracy altogether. Now she does get an accuracy bonus now when she ascends, but you know, that's good for her for like Mark and for her lower attack and stuff like that. But we're not really focused on that because not all the snake ladies have that. Really, we're just looking at DPS, right? So of course, we all want 100% crit rate for a DPS champ, but you got to earn that level of gear if you're on my roster. And she didn't yet, right? So nobody should have some random champion with great gear that they don't use in the roster, period. That's not just a me thing, that should be an everyone thing. So let's see if she can earn it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to run through a couple raids and let's see how she does. So I wanted her to contribute to a pre-flight team, so I had to make some changes by replacing Rhoda with Sigrun, Siege Tower with Snake Lady, and that team worked fine. But if it didn't pre-flight, it failed 100% of the time. So I felt it needed a little bit more beef and a little bit more protection. So I actually went ahead and replaced Kendrick with the Archangel. That way, at least if they did fail the pre-flight, they would survive to be able to finish off the training. And that's just an efficiency thing on my part, as far as what I'm looking for in a team. And a lot of people may not be looking for that, but we've talked about this before. Failing is very detrimental overall to your progression. So I try to stay away from that as much as possible. Now, we're snake ladies in the front of the queue right now, and we're watching her pretty much tear up waves. She does a lot of damage. I'm not gonna lie, she does do a lot of damage. She's good gear on, not great gear, but good gear on her, and she does do a lot of damage. She really does contribute to the waves when she's not feared. But a lot of that I think has to do with the fact that Snake Pit is actually an AoE, so that helps out a lot. Now the mark, the ongoing damage, all of that pops up there is like gratis, right? Like that's not what we're hanging our hat on. We're really just looking for DPS. So if we could get some better gear on her to up her accuracy to make some of those things more consistent, I think we'd be more consistent in our pre-flight runs. But look at the damage. I mean, she's right on par with Sigrun, and Sigrun's a great unit for DPS. Does a lot of good stuff, but not as high DPS as the Candy Munchkins, right? Probably didn't expect that, despite the fact that from a stat perspective, Lemon Drop and the Light Snake Lady are very close in all of their stats, right? There's just a little bit more attack for Lemon Drop. Where the difference really comes in is the skill buffs that Lemon Drop has versus what Snake Lady has. So Elder Drake is nice, but we need to make sure she performs in Steel Widow because that's where we're going to spend most of our time, right? So here's our team: Amodeus, the Mall, Magical Girl, Sigrun, and the Light Snake Lady. So basically, there's no problem clearing waves. I'm going to go ahead and skip past that just to let you know she does amazing damage. She's got an AoE, so it's really helpful. She wipes stuff out. So we get here in about 40 seconds. Not the fastest time. So it's already kind of a mark against her because we can put in some units that are already going to be faster to get us to where we want to be as far as fighting the Steel Widow, to keep that time down, right? And as you can see, we're already over a minute. We're starting probably to approach just about as slow a time as we want to have, because there's a bunch of free-to-play units that actually allow this team to run at about 1 minute. Not the least of which is Ella. We did a whole video on this, and she's a 3-star unit, easy to max level, easy to skill up, and she runs a minute and 10, I think, is the team, the free-to-play team we put together in the Ella life cycle video. And that was, granted, that was towards the end of when you would want to be using her, but that is pretty consistent. All right, so boom, we got the Steel Widow down. I think everybody knew that was going to happen. But what we want to do now is we want to take a second. We want to look at this. And let's look at the battle report. Okay, so she does very comparable damage to Sigrun, right? So that's actually pretty promising. So that's actually not bad. So this might be a situation where instead of taking out Sigrun or taking out the Light Snake Lady, I might actually take out Manas, right? But now we're going to go into Steel Widow. But still, we're using a pretty straightforward team. Vimal, Rhoda, Snake Lady, Hoshi, Magical Girl, right? Pretty standard fare as far as a dependable team would go, with the exception of Snake Lady, because we don't know how she's going to perform, right? So let's go ahead and take a second. Is she going to be able to get us through these waves as fast as we want? So in Steel Widow, we're still looking for a 30 to 40 second clear for all of the waves. I mean, to really be a unit worth 6-starring, making the investment we made, skilling her up with other 4-stars, you know, really investing 6-star gear into her, doing all the things that we did, we really need her to contribute to wiping the waves out between 30 and 40 seconds, right? And if you look right now, we're it's the final countdown here. Like, oh, there you go. So she made it, right? So now we're at Steel Widow within 40 seconds. Who cares about that 42 that it says? It was 37 seconds, so it'd be a little bit faster probably. So she's holding her own, right? And we've run this a few times, and watch, this will be the run where she fails. But we've run this quite a few times. She's pretty successful as far as this goes. But at this point, just think about the gear we have on her, 6-star mortal gear. We've been farming for a while. She still has the ability to contribute more with better gear, but at this point, it's a diminishing return, I feel. I don't feel that she's going to be next tier for us as far as a champion goes, and this goes in general for the Snake Ladies, because remember, if you have the Water Snake Lady, you can't even use her in Steel Widow 11, right? So this is really about the Fire and the Nature Snake Lady, or the Light and Dark Snake Lady. Dark Snake Lady is a totally different story. We're not talking about her so much. But 1 minute and 46 seconds for Steel Widow 11 is just way too long, to be honest. It's just too long. There's too many free-to-play units that allow this to get done in a minute or less. And we've done quite a few free-to-play teams that do that. So all in all, I mean, if we just take a step back, look at all the investment, everything that we did, you know, she does great DPS, right? Or not great, she does good DPS. But I don't feel that the investment, even, you know, doing the attack crit damage attack, putting her on mortal, you know, I don't feel that the investment you have to make in gear at the level and that you have to make it is really still makes her worth building. I still have to say a no on 6-starring her. Like, and this is the best I could possibly do with the Snake Lady without ruining gear on my other champs that perform way better. Like, are you going to strip the gear off your Blade Master to fill out a Snake Lady? No, you're not going to do that. But I want to know what your opinion is, right? Some of you are out there, some of you built her, some of you are in the same boat I am. You have a fully skilled 6-star Snake Lady, and you're like, it's just not good. So this is my suggestion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But I think we need a hashtag buff Snake Lady 2019 to game off, because frankly, at this level, she's just not worth building, despite how good she was previously. I gotta say no on that one. But let me know what your thoughts are. As always, thanks for watching the videos. Have a great day. Bye.